Hello world, and welcome back to another episode of Tech Retreat. So here we are in the smeltery. I had a bit of an incident following last episode. I think I had stupidly left the door open, and I was kind of looking at recipes and whatnot, and a creeper got in here, blew up, took out every single chest. Apparently the adjustable chests are very susceptible to explosions. So I scrambled and made a bunch of obsidian stuff in order to get this place blast resistant. But you'll also notice that this place has been cleaned out. I have actually got started on the Flaxbeard's room, which is going to be here. It looks looking pretty good. I'm not sure about the hardened clay, but yeah, it started coming together, and I like how it looks. These are some Ganny's nether stuff, so quartz berry bush, which will grow these quartz berries that you can later make into quartz, and glowing reeds, which will break down into glowstone dust. These guys aren't growing. I'm not sure why. Maybe because there's a block next to it, but this lava pool, as you could see, is spawning, those guys. This is actually growing and working, so I don't know. I'm going to have to look at this a little bit more. But for today's episode, what I'd like to do is get some steam production automation going. And as you can see, I just this is my plate making area, and I moved the crafting area over here. I kind of wanted to put a second level on this, but we'll see how it goes. This is the filling pad. Basically, all I have to do is stand on it, and some tubes extend, and it basically recharges any steam powered tools or armor that I happen to have on. But right now my steam production is pretty sorely lacking. So if we head down here, and this is kind of the underground area, this is a fan. It works pretty much like the Thaumcraft levators. You go up and you hold shift to go down, so it's kind of a cool addition. And here's the setup we had last. Ooh, that's not good. This thing might. Well, it looks like I got very close to this thing exploding. It actually has a lot of steam in it. Maybe I should charge up my armor completely before we do this, because I'm gonna. Whoop, nighttime. That's the problem with that basement, is you can't tell if it's nighttime. Should put like a daylight sensor or something and run a lamp down there, just so I can tell if it's going to be nighttime. So I played around in a creative world. Did that actually? I forgot to charge that up. So I played around in creative in a different world to kind of figure out how I can automate this steam. It's pretty tricky. What I'm going to use is the flash boiler, and it's kind of not treated as an inventory correctly, I guess. You can't just hook up Steve's Factory Manager to it and put things in, pull things out. Like, you can't pull out steam or anything like that. But a hopper, it will put coal in there using a hopper. So there's some tricky things I had to do to get this to actually work, and we're gonna lose a bunch of steam doing this. I could make some tanks and pipe it into there, but well, let's just lose it, I suppose. It's not that hard to make, and all of this was generated off of charcoal with my auto smelting axe, so no big loss, I suppose. Goodbye steam, and that'll go. Pop, pop, pop. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to use a flash boiler. Now this is a Oh, I only have half the blocks I need. This is a 2 by 2 by 2, so that's the bottom layer. I don't have the top layer. That's a little annoying. So, well, we've already got 2 of those, which we're gonna need, so at least that's part of it. Nether bricks. Nah. Hopefully... Good. I have just enough. Oh, no I don't. I need to make 2. Ah. Alright, well, looks like we're going to be making a quick trip to the Nether again. I did go back there and do some mining. I needed to get my pickaxe up to Ardite in order to mine cobalt, so I still have to go back and get cobalt. Well, as these episodes typically do, not as prepared as I thought I was. Let's throw this down here, hit the Nether, grab some more Nether brick. This way. Oh, do I have... Yes, alright, and it's probably not smart to take my life savings with me, but... yeah, I've stated it many times before, so I won't state it again. Alright. So, and I didn't leave. Ooh, I can get this now. Yes. I did find some infusculum, so I can now make what I was talking about before. It was AutoBeardin, I think is the name of it. That's what I want to make a rapier out of. So I've also marked some cobalt on the map around here. Maybe we shouldn't come out of safety. Let's not look there. Let's look over here. Oh, good enough. Dang it. I need that. I'm gonna get into trouble here, I think. Too close. There we go. And as soon as that goes away... Yeah, so, you know, if you stay moving, the Nether's alright. It's when you stop to smell the roses, really, that you get pretty badly taken. So, I've just been doing some... What am I looking for? Whoa! And as if to make me a liar. Come here. Alright, I'll just bump it. And this is a special mob. Oh! Now he's gonna be waiting for me on the other side. Oh. Well, that's good enough. Let's go back. Murder him, hopefully, and not get murdered. And... there we go. Run for water! No! There we go. And let's put that out. Oh, good. You went out. Break the portal so nothing comes through. Alright. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Level of safety. So... I don't want poop. I did do a lot of exploring since last time using the glider and the steam pack, so I came all the way down here, found some more villages, found bamboo groves. I actually found a couple, I believe these are Thaumcraft areas, but you know, I got some pretty good stuff out of here, some thaumium and whatnot, so pretty good on that. And yeah, I have no fuel in here. And where did I move everything? Yeah, here we go. And that'll get going. So there's 1 brick. And 2 bricks. And 3 bricks. Thank you. Still haven't found another fortress, which would make getting nether bricks a lot easier. Alright, so as we were doing, it still has some residual steam, it looks like. Do I wanna... yeah. We'll do it like that. Alright, so now we have the steam boiler, and I'm wondering if it's actually putting water in there, or if I just don't see it. Insert. Insert. Alright, well, there we go. So, there's our steam boiler, or flash boiler, which basically produces steam a lot quicker, but also burns fuel a lot quicker. So now we're going to automate this guy using Steve's factory manager. And, hey, I didn't make up a hopper. I need a hopper. So, iron... 5 of them, and I need a chest. And there we go. And a chest. And a hopper. Alright. Need a hopper. So... I played around with this and got it down to a pretty compact design. I hope I have enough room here. But what we want to do here is plug a hopper. And I'm kind of looking at a little diagram I drew up. I need some space. Alright, so hopper. Oh, I didn't make a comparator. Ah. Oy. Well, let's see. So we need let's keep going, see. We can't get too far because we're going to need to make sure that comparator is in the right place. Basically, the steam gauge will hook up to a comparator, and the steam gauge will tell you how much is in here. So it'll output a differing level of redstone based on how much steam is in here. So basically, the basic idea is we want to shut off feeding this thing with coal when it gets to a certain level, and we want to resume feeding it with coal once it's below a certain level. So that's basically the idea. So we want to be able to emit signals to this hopper. So we need a redstone emitter, and we're going to have a comparator feeding into a redstone receiver, which is going to do basically the opposite. It's going to grab that signal from right here, from that comparator, and read it into read it in so we can tell when to turn it off. So there's my inventory manager, and this is where we're going to set up the actual execution logic. And I needed another chest. So we need a comparator and we need another chest. But let me get in here. We should probably light this up too, because we don't need any nasty spawning. And do I have any torches left? Well, I guess we can cobble together some light. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so we need a comparator and a chest. Ooh, and it's getting dark again. I hadn't finished this completely, and I had these windows open, and I was down there in the basement and didn't realize it got dark, and you had some creeper damage up here as well. The game crashed on me. I was attacking a creeper while in the fans, air vent, whatever, and it kept crashing on me, so there really wasn't much I could do. Creepers just kept exploding. Almost had to build this thing twice, pretty much. Comparators. I think we need 3 torches, another brick, and stone. I have the stone. Redstone. 1, 2, 3. Sticks. Alright. So So 3 of these guys. Oh, why did I get another quartz? There it is. There's our comparator, and now we need that chest. And there's our chest. So this will just hold coal. I could probably use a barrel or whatever, but we'll use a chest for now. And that goes right there. And the comparator goes... never get... Whoa! Man. There's our silverfish problem. Ugh. Alright. So... that's... the wrong way? That's the right way? I don't... we'll have to get some steam in there and figure this out. I think maybe this is the right way. Alright, so... in addition to all that wonkiness, we also need to have overflow protection. So in the event that we have too much steam in here, we don't want the thing to just blow up on us. We want to be able to vent that additional steam and just get rid of it. And I just remembered another piece I had forgotten, but I'll get to it when we get to it. So for that, we need to be able to export steam from the system. So we've got this emitter. We're going to reuse it to control pulling steam out. And in order to pull steam out, we need pressure converters, which will basically take steam out of the Flaxbeard stuff and convert it over to something else, some other form of power, some other form, basically. So we go like that. And now this will, when steam is pulling from this, it'll actually fire up. So in order to actually keep up with the amount of steam that's being produced and voiding it as it's being produced, we need to actually set up 3 of these. One won't do the trick. So and hopefully I have enough pipes. Yeah. So there's 3 of them. So this will be our void system. And now the one thing I forgot was a fluid void pipe, which we're going to use to just get rid of the excess. And what we want to do here is... yeah. Stop complaining. There we go. Then we'll have to close that all up. Like so. And you can actually hide these by going by, what is it? Not right clicking, shift right clicking. So that just hid that pipe so it all looks nice. What did we need? We need a fluid void pipe, and I think we probably need obsidian for that. What is it? Void. Void fluid pipe. There we go. Redstone, glass, and black ink. Redstone. They must have changed it. I seem to remember back when that it took obsidian to make, but yeah, I'm not complaining. Ink. And redstone. Alright, so now we need some pipe sealant, which... oh, hey, yeah, we can use creeper plant seeds. Awesome. I figured I was going to have to run out and find cactus, but no, these seeds can be converted into dyes. So each one of these seeds has a different dye associated with it, and you can just... So this is light blue dye, so it's really, really handy. thinking about trying to figure out how to set up a farm. I know some of the tutorials about crash landing, because it's heavily used in crash landing. We only need one. The creeper seed, so I'll have to play with that at some point and figure out how I want to accomplish that. But for now, well, let's see. Let's point it up. There we go. So now we want to insert into the void pipe. We want to extract on redstone signal. Extract on redstone signal, and extract on redstone signal. So, well, it's got steam in it already. Oh, it must be flowing back out of the pipes into the boiler. Okay, well, I guess that kind of makes sense, but also means the comparator's backwards. There we go. Okay, so we're set up on that, and let me make notes. Let's see, the comparator is... Which way is that? South? Let me just write that down. I don't want to be going back and forth, so... is south, and... the hopper... Yep, that's down. That's always down. That's always up. What else do we need to make sure we have? I think that's the only one that's dependent on direction, so... Alright, so now comes the fun part, and I'm going to have to put a brick stair up there so I can open this. I just have to change this to a... Let's change that to a barrel, because it's annoying. The only problem with a barrel is we won't be able to switch out between charcoal and whatnot. I wonder if... Let's make an adjustable chest, I suppose. I think you can open that with a block above it. And that's just cobblestone around a chest. Pretty easy, so... And I need... I guess I could have just grabbed that chest while I was down there, but, you know, the moment's passed. So yeah, these adjustable chests are really easy to make. There is an unbreakable upgrade, and I probably should have had that on there, but you know, I went back to the obsidian chests from iron chests, so yeah, there we go, much better. Alright, so the setup here actually isn't very complicated. It was much harder when I was playing around with it to try and figure this out, just because of kind of the nuances of how the Flaxbeard's flash boiler works. So we want a trigger for the overflow. We want to have this redstone controlled, and we're going to hook it up to the comparator. And we want to go ahead and leave that alone, and the comparator's on the south side. This is why I wrote it down. And we want to have this stop at around 14, which is just, it's a little under max capacity. The thing about it is, if you put 15 and 15 in here, if it just happens to put a piece of fuel into here right before reaching 15, you're going to have to burn through that piece of fuel before it'll actually stop. And if that piece of fuel actually puts the flash boiler to critical point, the flash boiler just blows up. So you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you have this set to account for one whole piece of fuel burning before you shut it off, or basically shut it off before then. So we want to trigger redstone control. We want to use a flow control. And what we want to do here is we want to join the high pulse and the low pulse. And what this will do is say, it'll basically funnel both of these conditions down into a single output here. Now, when this happens, when we get a high pulse or we get a low pulse, what we want to do is use the emitter, and we want to emit a redstone signal basically, and this one is going to be down. And what we want to do with this is shut off that hopper. We want to make it so that it does not feed any more coal in. Now, to keep it compact, what I had to do was put that, if you remember, that piece of brick right underneath. We want to pass the redstone signal through it into the hopper, so we need strong power to do that. The difference between here is weak power it'll only affect the block next to it. It will not pass through a block to another block. So you want strong power in order to do that. Now, if you happen to put anything else that might be redstone sensitive next to that block, it's going to also receive, it could interfere with other machines unintentionally. And what we want to do is toggle it. So this might get a little screwy if you don't have things set up right and you go through and try to tear things down or whatever, rearrange it. And basically what that says is when we get to that threshold, it's going to basically have this high pulse and it's going to shut it off. It's going to toggle it off. When it goes back below 14, it's going to toggle back on basically. So just to visualize this, it's going to shoot this redstone down here and shut off the hopper from feeding. So that is all we need to do for the overflow. Now, what we also need to do is fuel. We basically need to transfer fuel to the hopper, and what we kind of want to do is limit how much we're putting in there. Well, I'll kind of explain as I go along, I suppose. So we want to create a trigger, and this is going to be to fuel the boiler. This is also going to be redstone controlled, and this is actually going to be on an interval of about 8. You might have to play with this. Basically what we're trying to do here is only check this hopper about how long it takes to burn through the fuel. So when this burns through a single piece of coal, we want to make sure that we can feed it another piece of coal. We don't want to have more than one sitting in here, because what will happen is it'll have to burn through all that backlog, and your boiler will blow up basically. I'm sorry about that. So we don't want to do that. So we want to make sure that we have this going and looking every burnable fuel every time you burn through a single piece of fuel. Now what you want to do is while this is high, basically, and I have to think about why I did that. So we want to emit, and let me see if I can remember this, because I jotted all this down, so I'm not exactly sure what exactly I did. So oh, I see. I got myself backwards. This overflow is to control the overflow is to control the pipe above there. So this is actually wrong. We want this to go sides up, and we can go weak power. So I'm backwards on this. So this is the overflow. This is a steam overflow. I was completely off. So this piece up here, this is the piece we were setting up, and we don't need that at strong. So yeah, what this is saying is it just basically toggles off pulling steam right here when it reaches a certain level. So when it goes above 14, it starts to suck it out back down to 14, and it's nighttime out. Oh, the mobs have spawned. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean all that up. There's gonna be creepers waiting for me. Oh well, we're safe down here, I think. So yeah, basically this will just void any steam over a level of 14. So now the fuel then piece is what I was actually talking about, to turn the hopper off and on. now things are falling into place. So while this is high, while it redstone sides, we need to go south. So while this has low steam, basically, so we can, depending on how much buffer you want to put between the overflow kicking on and the fuel feeding, which you can probably get away with. So we set it at 14. Let's go 12 maybe for now. And yeah, that's all. Stone receiver. Interval 8. South. Okay. So then let me walk through this again, just make sure it's kind of clear here. Every time it could possibly have burned through the fuel, it takes a look at the comparator. If it sees that the comparator says that there's a steam level of 1 through 12, it will basically toggle on feeding in this piece of coal. So we want to emit sides down, strong power, and we want to have this fixed 0. So we basically want to toggle off the redstone current in order to allow a piece of coal to go through. Now we want to pulse this, and we want to make it really quick because we only want to release one piece of coal from the hopper. And that'll basically put fuel into the system, and it'll keep putting one piece of coal. Yeah, something doesn't make sense. So yeah, it'll release one piece of coal into the boiler, and then wait for that coal to burn, and then release another one. And when it gets above the 12 threshold, it'll basically shut off. It'll stop working altogether. So the next piece then is just to transfer over coal from our chest to our hopper, and I don't really put any restriction on that. I just have it go and fill up the hopper. If you want to reserve things, you could try and check inventories and move things around that only put one piece of coal in the hopper and only keep it supplied with one, but I don't feel like doing all that. So let's just set this up, and this is just standard. So let's only start with coal. I don't know if charcoal also has the same burn time. I don't know if they produce the same, but yeah, let's do that. So we'll take coal, or we'll take charcoal, and we'll put it in the hopper. And hopefully I did this all right and we don't get any explosions. Okay, so this should be ready to go, I believe. Let me just go over this one more time in my head. I'm pretty sure this is all good. That's pretty simple. Now, the fuel, basically we want to... yes. Fix, turn it off. There should be another piece here to emit a signal. So while it's high, we want to turn off the signal and release a piece to it. Otherwise, we want to strong power. We want to make sure it's receiving a redstone signal to keep it shut off. So yeah, I think that. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. What haven't I eaten recently? Yes, hearty breakfast. This is the wonder food. It basically refills the entire thing in one shot. There we go. Now we're good. All right, so I think this is what we want. I think that's all what we want. Let me check. That's emitting. Yeah, this turned on all the sides. Now I'm gonna have to turn that back off. This is kind of the weird part of this. You have to kind of jury-rig this when things aren't set up quite right. So we want to output fixed 0. That should turn everything off on that. Yep. And now we can just basically delete that. And if we take a look, hopefully the bottom is now lit up. Yeah. So now this is going to block that hopper, basically. And got no steam in it, so that's... Alright, so there's one other thing I want to do here. I want to make a valve. I think it's just a lever on a piece of pipe. Yeah. And what this is going to do is we're going to, when we're testing this out, we're going to make sure that we have something to release steam. Got no steam. Nothing works. We want to make sure we can release steam, otherwise bad things could happen. Let's see. Here's a lever, and here's a piece of pipe. All right. Ouch. So what we can do is. I actually think the wall stops the steam from escaping, so we can't put that there. Good enough. Alright. So let's kind of slowly feed this, and I don't have any coal. For the time being, let's just kind of hand feed this and see what happens. Make sure everything looks okay, and then we'll test the actual feeding. Alright, so now we should be getting steam. And if you look at this back here, it's starting to creep up. We should be getting... There's our comparator signal, so we've got at least one. And if I had another comparator, I could probably set it up over here and watch the redstone current as well. So that's building up. This is going to be kind of the wait and see, and hopefully don't get blown up on. Pretty sure I have that all set up right. Okay, that's off. So that's all looking good. This is going to take a lot of fuel. So the other flip side of this is we're going to need a way to generate charcoal, which gets back into the power gen, which I'm not sure we're going to get into on this episode since we took it up, generating steam. I did install tubes. Now, I was looking for fluid ducts and item ducts, and I didn't see them. The reason being is they removed it from thermal expansion, and they're talking about putting it in as a completely separate mod when it does finish development. Yeah, so you don't have fluid ducts readily available, which was kind of the easy early game tube. So I put tubes on here. I haven't played with it yet, but it looks like it'll do kind of what we want. I also figured out what was wrong with the transfer nodes. They changed things around. The transfer node won't just work on its own. You actually need a world. You actually need a world interaction upgrade now. You need at least one of these guys to make it do anything. I guess before you got a free one of these in essence. But now, not so much. Now you actually have to make one of these in order to throw it in your transfer node. And burn through all that. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to be able to supply this with charcoal, so not sure how I want to go about that. You know, a tree farm hooked up to a redstone furnace might be the easiest route, so I don't know. I'll have to think about that between episodes and see how I want to go. Since we have steam, and I'm pretty sure the steam's cross-compatible, we might just want to go with a steam dynamo. And that generates steam may be pumped in instead, so I'm not. It probably generates 80 RF a tick because all of those dynamos typically do 80 a tick. So building up and building up and building up. I believe this line here is where it's going to kick over. I think that's 14, and then that would be 15, or at least that's what I think. Anyway, yeah, I did get the exosuit all made up, and it's ready to go, and it's working pretty well. I've got Tinker's goggles on here. I'm not sure exactly what those do for me. You're supposed to be able to zoom in, but the zoom key doesn't seem to be working. I don't know. Ooh. Okay, so we got some thumping going on. High. And it would be nice. Oh wait. No, that's zombies. Well, we got steam, as we can see. But that did not kick on. Or at least I did not see that kick on. So, we might have something wrong here. Yeah, it's building up. Maybe it's the top line this kicks on at? Hopefully we don't... Yeah, there it goes. So, yeah, there was the spot. So now this is kicked on. It's voiding out the excess steam. So if you accidentally, or if something goes wrong and it's feeding us a bunch of coal, it'll actually void this out. It'll keep it right here. It'll keep it from going over. So that piece is all working correctly. And looks good. So now we can test the coal feeding part of it. Which it should be off right now because we have a good supply. All right. Well, for the good of the episode, let's waste some steam. That's basically gonna just void out some steam and drop us down. I think this line then might be where we're gonna trickle back on. But at some point here, we should see the furnace kick on, so let's watch for that. There it goes. So we should only have, yeah, so as you can see, it only had one. Let's there we go. So basically every 8 seconds, and we might be able to drop that down a second, it'll release a piece of coal if it hasn't reached the level it's supposed to be on. So this is now pretty much automated. Stick coal in here and let it go, and it'll produce steam for you. I'll see if I can't write up some directions or something and post it on the YouTube video along with this episode. So yeah, there we go. All right, so now I wanted to kind of show you some of the cool things that it's going to be nighttime again. And monsters are nearby. Hooray! What monsters are nearby? Can I kill them? Or do I even bother? Whoa! What just happened there? Oh, those guys. Yeah, basically they'll use their fishing pole and pull you in. It's bad. There's a whole horde of them coming at you. More. Oh, come on. Leave me alone, guys. I'm trying to film an episode here. Ah! Don't hit me with a door. What are you doing? You must have ripped that off from somewhere. That must have been that knocking sound I heard. But there's some pretty interesting things here. And now I've got an inventory full of junk, of course. There we go. One of the things that's really, you know what? It got blown up. Damn it. So this piston deployer is kind of switching gears, I suppose. The piston deployer is kind of cool. So what I have right now is a power fist, and if I can find something to punch, basically what it'll do is make your punches really hurt. So let's see if I can hit this guy. Oh yeah. What just happened? And we're back. So it doesn't look like there was a creeper there. It must have been the power fist. So let's actually get rid of that. Basically what it does is make your punches stronger and knocks them back. I did check time while I was out, and it looks like we're at time. So I'll have to kind of save these different upgrades you can do for later. But the piston deployer, let me see if I can remember. Forget, oh, I think maybe it was, yeah, there we go. So you can basically grab onto a wall by right mouse clicking. You can do a wall or a ceiling, but now you can, for instance, mine glowstone in the nether just by hanging from the ceiling. There's some other things we can do or that I want to get set up with maybe some other mods, like a magnet or something, so that we can actually get at it. And there's actually another upgrade for the chest piece that allows you to actually hit blocks like way over there. And I'll show you that next episode. So what I think I'll do is wrap this episode up, and we'll probably launch directly into another episode because I want to get to producing some power. And I think we might just do it with steam dynamos, which means we'll probably want to get a what's those seeds? We're going to want to get a tree farm set up to automatically produce charcoal for us to use. Oh, ender plant seeds, okay. I don't know what those do, but apparently it's purple dye, it looks like. But yeah, I think we'll wrap this episode up here, and then we'll jump into power generation next episode. So you leave a like or subscribe, and have a good one, guys.